Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is 7.13's new technology, the Jungle Wraith King. Your hands are probably shaking, your PTSD. How the hell is Bowie suggesting this travesty of a build? Bear with me, sire. This build is all about having a 5-minute Helm of the Dominator so that you can push with your team, so it's not all lost. This is why you start with the Gloves of Haste, not because you're going Midas. So I hope you're feeling slightly better after hearing that, so bear with me. Jungling is still pretty bad, don't get me wrong. You can't really do anything for a minute, so he takes his time to block the top creeps for Arturito. He was playing Terrorblade this game, and there are two reasons for this to work like he did this game. The first one is the fact that Raiden has a support for Zeus, pretty sluggish and weak support for at least level 1, and on top of that, Dire has an offlane Nature's Prophet, a hero that pressures the lane pretty well, forcing Willow to be bottom. Would this build work as well if there was a Pudge hunting the Wraith King? I don't know. What I know though is that those skeletons, they are actually pretty strong and they will change aggro if attacking enemy, so contesting the Wraith King is harder than it seems. The only time he's really weak is level 1 when he uses the first skeleton charge straight away. Note that he kills the big one as fast as possible and then shares some of the damage with the skeleton boy. The important part of this style of play is always having vision of more jungle camps before switching camps, so note how he doesn't finish the small center there to be sure that the skeleton will follow him towards the next camp. He eats a tango, continues the grind, and I want you to give a small efficiency tip. He attacked that golem for ages and didn't crit, which means that if he crits right at the end, he will have to do the same thing with the other golem, so he changes targets, saving a lot of time. If you have a brain, you're probably worried about not having stealth shoot, and that's a valid concern. The thing though is that your farming speed to get Helm of the Dominator needs to be 100% focused on the item, or you will not get there in time. Granted that in this game the Wraith King actually gets a center when he goes for the push instead of a catapult, which means you don't necessarily need to go at 5 minutes, but do as you please. Know though that it's possible to jungle with this Wraith King without stealth shoot. Whenever this guy is facing a big creep, he makes sure to summon skeletons. He doesn't bother with having max charges early on. It's all about not being low HP. And once more, you will see the pattern of leaving early to be sure Gaben's AI is smart enough to follow him to the next camp. The end result is that at 5 minutes, he has the Dominator completed and he gets the center to follow him. That's a pretty decent power spike actually, because you will most likely be level 4, which means that you can follow up your stun to whatever creep that you have. Arturito was being dove under the tower. They get 2 kills out of that, and the HP regen aura really helps Arthur to follow them towards the next push. Obviously, having a Nature's Prophet makes this even more viable, but remember that they don't even dominate a catapult here, so it's not like a Nature's Prophet is the hero that makes this all viable, but it does help. While the center offers less push, he offers skill potential, and that tower melts early on. People have the tendency of playing Wraith King jungle like that guy that builds Midas, Radiance, and starts fighting at 15 minutes. More like 25 minutes, am I right? But with such an early Helm of the Dominator, you're kind of like Chan. He literally solo kills a Dark Willow here. And they group up mid for a push with no catapults or anything. The Helm of the Dominator creep zones the Radiant lineup, and there you go. You can see how passionate this Wraith King is about the creeps, and that passion translates in a second tier 1 tower before the 10-minute mark. As he rotates bottom, I want you to notice how he didn't bother farming skeletons in the jungle or anything. Those skeletons are not that strong, and you take a long time farming them. In a game like this where Radiant has very little anti-push, you want to get as many towers early on as possible, and then you can sit back and relax while you wait for the next move. While he didn't have skeletons, he made sure to find a way to get some. Notice how he summons skeletons with his troll. Then he steals the Lone Druid troll away from him to get even more skeletons. And that's an easy tier 1 tower, nicely played by him. From this point onwards, you can build this hero however you want. You can try and go carry, you can play like in a utility hero. It all depends on how you enjoy playing him and what your team needs. This hero actually scales nicely into the late game, especially when you have a Terrorblade, Viper, and Nature's Prophet trio core that will benefit nicely from your life to aura. That doesn't mean you should max it though, it's probably the last skill to get to max level. And while he was farming Ancient Creeps, Lone Druid steals 1 catapult and gets a tier 2. Luckily though, by being there, not only he steals 1 catapult back, they get a kill on the bear, so that's 300 juicy gold for the Dire. Having a card is not all about push though. When Radiant groups mid, pay attention how the card serves a denying and bad mannering purpose at the same time, creating juicy impact in the mid game. Later on, a fight starts and the dominated creep once again guarantees him a kill, so that's nice. I'm not the biggest fan of the item build the Wraith decided to go at the end. Having chasing power for terrorblade is great, but terrorblade had Sanjay Yasha anyways. At the same time, it gives he'll kill potential on Zeus, and maybe he felt like Blink Dagger against Zeus plus Radiance Lone Druid was not the greatest idea. What I wanted to realize though is that the space created by getting all the towers in the early game gave this Wraith King more levels than the enemy mid DK, and he almost solo kills that guy in this clip. Roshan ends up falling for a Torito, and I'm not really sure if there's much more to talk about it. This hero is so open-ended as a support in the mid game, and I actually really like this. You're probably going to low priority if you try to play this, and while I'm actually spamming Radiance Lifestealer to learn more about the hero on my stream, you should definitely tune and see what happens. Whenever I don't get carry, I'll most likely play this build, and hopefully we can see if it works out. Thanks everyone for watching, it was a pleasure. This video is sponsored by Pvgna, those guys are great. They have every single tutorial updated to the new patch, and it's not all about tutorials. They have a shit ton of videos about anything that you can think of, and if you actually take your time and watch them, you can definitely win MMR. Want to know what's happening in my life? Follow me on Twitter. Want to see some crispy casts or me playing this build? Tune in on my stream. I'm always posting some snaps about what's going on. Want to talk with people that love Dota and actually care about your crispy boy right here? Join our Discord channel. And that's it, guys. I'm actually going to be casting the South American close qualifiers, unfortunately on Facebook, from Thursday to Sunday, so make sure to follow ESL on Facebook so that you know when it's gonna happen. I'll probably post about it on Twitter as well. Moxie will be joining me. Please do not unsub.
This is